What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for September 10th, 2022. We have a lot to get to today in a short amount of time, but first, I have to pass on some sad news. Unfortunately, and I think we should probably give a moment of silence for this one. The New York Mets lost to the San Diego Padres 6-0. Eliminating them from postseason. So not only did they choke and not win the division, they got knocked out in the first round. So it's unfortunate and sad news. And we here at this day in Philly sports history, we like to just give a moment of silence. All right, with that being said, let's move on. What a weekend to be a Philadelphia fan. I mean, could it get any better? I dubbed the weekend going into it, fuck the Cardinals weekend, and that's basically what happened. The Eagles definitely almost blew that game. Who knows what would have happened? I think the defense was getting a little tired there, so if that game had gone into overtime, it would have all depended on the coin toss, but alas, he missed the field goal, and we move on to 5-0. But what I will say, my takeaway from that game is, first two games, they weren't close. The Detroit game, they kind of spotted them the lead, or they got a big lead early, let them come back. Minnesota wasn't necessarily really close. Washington's Washington. We'll go from there. Last week against the Jags, they got punched in the mouth and responded nicely, so I was happy to see that. But they hadn't been in a really close game, and I think one where they were playing a good team. The Cardinals were a playoff team last year. Yeah, they're missing some weapons right now, but they're still a decent team. Kyler Murray's a good quarterback, and it was good to see how they responded to that. Again, they jumped out 14-0 early. The Cardinals came back and just... I like the way they responded. I don't think they got too panicked, and they came back, like I said, and that drive where they came down in the fourth quarter to kick the field goal to go ahead, that was amazing. That showed heart. They came down, and it was just old school NFC East smash mouth football right down the field. I would have liked to have seen a touchdown, but like I said, I'll take the win, 5-0. So now this team showed me they can obviously jump on teams early and win in a blowout. They can take the team's best punch, come back from it. They can play a close game against a good team. All of this is important because next week, or this coming week, I should say, is Dallas week. Dallas is coming in. Who knows what's going on with them, but they're 4-1. The Giants are 4-1. All of a sudden, the NFC East is a lot better than advertised at the beginning of the season, and I'll take it. I love when the division is good and there's at least one or two other teams that are good. So it should be a fun week. It's Fuck Dallas week. Have some things I'm working on to possibly have for later in the week, but we'll get into that. And to be honest, what is it about Arizona? I feel as though Arizona is always a tough place for the Eagles to play. And it goes back to when the Cardinals first moved there in '88. The Phoenix Cardinals, for whatever reason, they just never play. I don't know if it's going to the West Coast or what, but just thinking like it just seems like it's always a close game and the Eagles somehow find a way to lose. But they actually found a way to win this one, so I'll take it. And I think we are in and on to something special this season. Should be a fun week, and going into the weekend, finally have a home playoff game for the Phils. Hopefully going to try to get some tickets for that one. But they play Tuesday at 1, Wednesday at 4, and then Friday I think will still be to be determined. I'll have more on the Phillies-Braves preview and a pick for that series tomorrow. But today we're going to take it back because as we're getting into October now, the Sixers and the Flyers are getting ready to start their regular seasons. Both are in camp right now. So today we're going to go back to 1974, October 10th, 1974. The Flyers opened up their season. Yes, we're going to talk hockey, I know. But they opened up their season. They raised the banner at the Spectrum against the Kings, but they lost that game 5-3. So the defending champs lost their first game at the night they raised the banner, but they would go on that year to win their second straight Stanley Cup. They haven't won one since, so they won in 73, 74, and then 74, 75. But on this day in 1974, the Flyers lost to the LA Kings 5-3. But as I said, they did go on to win the Stanley Cup that year. They do open up this week, Thursday night. I think it's actually Thursday afternoon against the Devils at the Wells Fargo Center. We'll do a little Flyers preview this week on Back to the Future. Be sure to check that out wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, want to listen to it on the podcast, This Day in Philly Sports History is also available wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter and Twitter and TikTok, Jimbo_Mont, Instagram, JimboKU. And go have yourself some Monday. As always, it's better when the Eagles win. This one's even a little bit more because the Phillies had a great weekend as well. So go get them on a Monday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.